And if you're aware of this AJC event, which is the American Jewish Coalition, Jen, help me out on this one because Lord knows how many NGOs there are at this point. But listen very carefully to what Dr. Maya Ackerman has to say regarding AI, regarding these data centers, and why they're so important to the Zionist cause here in the United States.
You see genuine opportunity. How can AI help improve Jewish representation in all these issues?
The really cool thing about AI is that while it can become a great ally for our enemies, if we act early, it can be exactly the opportunity that we need. After missing the boat with social media, AI is now becoming the dominant source of information, the main source of information. People trust AI more than anything else.
I got news for you, sister. Most people do not trust AI. Most people know what this is all about. Is there some benefit potentially to artificial intelligence when it comes to doing things faster? On the periphery, perhaps. But is it worth it in the grand scheme? Not at all. I mean, the one thing we can say with certainty is that if you had any doubt about what AI is being used for, what these data centers are being used for, they're being used to spy on us, to make sure that we are good servants of capital at all times. And the bigger this gets, the wider it gets, the more they're going to try to put us under their control. Again, the primary reason why our country has not succumbed to the efforts of the Zionist cause is because our nation is armed. It's not armed everywhere, but it's armed in most places. And most of them are ready for that fight. At least it appears that they are now.
Trust AI more than social media. They turn to chatbots like ChatGPT and Gemini instead of using Google, and young people use these bots instead of Google in very, very, very large numbers. So this is becoming the main source of information, okay? And so when I say this, I still find Jewish people being discouraged. They say, oh, but Wikipedia is already so anti-Semitic, and social media is so anti-Semitic. Why?
What she's really saying is that social media is being way too noticing of our misdeeds. So we have to figure out a way to silence those who are exposing our misdeeds and correct the record.
Why bother? The AI just learns from all of this data. So, you know, whatever, not much we can do. But that's not true. Because over the past 2 years, the AI companies have been moving towards alignment. So instead of the algorithms sort of honestly representing what's in the data, we're finding that these chatbots and the text-to-image models are increasingly showing us exactly what the companies want us to see, okay? So it's becoming intentional, which means that instead of trying to control the whole world and trying to somehow manage what's happening in this big blob of Wikipedia and social media, we can go directly to the companies with clear technical and advocacy solutions.
In other words, do what we say and nobody gets hurt. Am I right, Maya Ackerman? I would think so.
For the first time, there is a path to correcting the digital world.
Thank you, Maya. Yeah.
Isn't that sweet? Aren't they amazing? What's going to happen if people start noticing this treachery that the state of Israel is bestowing upon us? Remember, these people are not loyal to America. In fact, they hate our country. They hate that we care. They hate that we're noticing. We are just a bunch of slack-jawed yokels in their mind anyway. And that is why you have a lot of, we'll just say, not so happy people who have been noticing. And that's why this conference, which took place at the backdrop of the Israel Day Parade, you had a gentleman by the name, I want to say this right, Gilad Erdan. Now, Gilad Erdan, I'm sure you're all just waiting with anticipation what his official position is. So Gilad Erdan is a diplomat who has served as the permanent representative of Israel to the United Nations for the past 4 years. He's a real winner, let me tell you. He does not appreciate people who speak up and out against the state of Israel. And this is what he had to say following the event of the Israel Day Parade.
Well, it's frightening to see that we live now in 2026 and anti-Semitism has truly become a cancer. And it's shocking because this cancer today is prevalent both on the left and the right. On the left, it's not a surprise. We already saw the squad. Now we have Mayor Mamdani. But we are seeing it also very prevalent among influencers, Republican influencers, Candace Owens, Tucker, Nick Fuentes, you name it. And I truly believe we should also praise President Trump and Secretary Rubio for taking real steps against anti-Semitism, especially against universities who encourage anti-Semitism. But I'm really concerned because I don't hear any statements coming from Vice President Vance.
Now, I assume you all understand what that means. What that means is that, hey, Mr. Vice President, you want to be president in a few years? You're going to have to start talking a lot more respectfully about the Zionist cause. And you're not doing that right now. We need to see a little bit more initiative. Otherwise, we might just have to get behind little Marco, or who the hell else knows. That's the lesson here.
Vice President Vance, since you mentioned it, it's true, we need to take real actions on the ground. Number one, I'm sorry to say it because it's very convenient to live in Miami, but as a proud Israeli, I have to tell my brothers and sisters, come home to Israel. We will embrace every Jew who will come and live with us. This is.
Now, I know you say that now, but in reality, you guys are all going to try to relocate down to Miami, and that's unfortunate. So when another typical stereotype, I tell all of my Israeli brothers and sisters who have immigrated to Miami, come home to Israel. Well, hopefully soon you won't have anything to come home to because it's not your home. It never was. Your home's in Eastern Europe. Again, you've been used to this for far too long. But your comeuppance is coming.
Your home. Number two, we should stop call out the anti-Semites. We should demand action. Action means we have the power to boycott our boycotters. Stop donating money to all the universities who facilitate the anti-Semites. Demand that they will fire anti-Semitic professors. And number three, and I say it with a lot of sadness, Jews have to start organizing to defend themselves. We cannot trust anyone. Yeah, we should train our communities. We should be equipped with whatever is needed. And from now on, we should take care for ourselves.
Now, I don't speak in code, but I know exactly what he's saying. He's basically saying that everybody who's a Jew should be armed. And they don't know what to do, which is, again, this is part of the spiral, if you will, that's happening in the United States. spiral that is happening with these people. But they're going to get much more brazen and dangerous. He doesn't want to say the exact words in terms of what he means, but what he is saying is that I want you to conduct yourselves the way that the IOF conducts themselves. I want you to be prepared to get violent if necessary, because us Jews are under attack. No, we've pointed this out recently. What this is showing is that they are so desperate to control the narrative at this point that they feel that they have to resort to violence in order to get people to listen. The rebellion is happening in real time. And it is glorious. And he most certainly is making vile threats. There's no question he is. But that's the sign of weakness. See, if he truly was in control, if he truly had an ideology that was worth supporting or was simply misunderstood, there would be enough people to back it up. But they already know that they're backed into a corner and they don't know where to go, which is good. However, and this gets back to the whole issue with the Samson option, how far are they willing to take this? How far are they willing to go? We don't know yet, but we're going to find out sooner rather than later. That's the inherent danger in this action. And part of the reason they're able to get away with it is because they've always gotten away with it. You know, the old joke about, you know, when it was Trump who would say, I could totally shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and nothing would happen to me. Well, fact of the matter is, the protected Zio class does believe, and probably rightfully so, that they could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. That's a goyim, and get away with it. So how much longer are they going to be able to get away with it is the question.